Hey everyone, Michelle here and welcome back to my channel and welcome to my June TBR video. And yes, it's another readathon. This was the readathon I thought would break my no readathons theme for this year, but it's ClearUrSht. I always participate in ClearUrSht. Well, the summer version. Anyway, there is a square. There are 8 prompts that we know of at the moment. The middle one, aka the 9th prompt, still to be decided. I'm going to be honest, I'm not pushing for 9 prompts this month. But yeah, before I get into that, let me show you which book I am reading for the Read Your Bookshelf challenge. June's prompt for Read Your Bookshelf is to read a book where the title has half the letters of your May book. My May book has 16 letters, so I was looking for a book with 8. This was, at the time, picking my TBR and still is the only book that I can see with 8 letters. Wolf Song by TJ Klune. It's a big book. Yeah, I have a hit and miss relationship with TJ Klune, so I have no expectations going into this one, apart from it's a bit of a chonker. Yeah. Ox Matheson was 12 when his father taught him a lesson. Ox wasn't worth anything, and people would never understand him. Then he left. Ox was 16 when the energetic Bennett family moved in next door, harbouring a secret that would change him forever. For the family were shapeshifters who can transform into wolves at will. Drawn to their magic, loyalty and enduring friendships, Ox feels a gulf between this extraordinary new world and the quiet life he's known. He also finds an ally in Joe, the youngest Bennett boy. Joe is charming and handsome, but taunted by scars he cannot heal. Ox was 23 when murder came to town and tore a hole in his heart. Violence flared, tragedy split the pack, and Joe left town, leaving Ox behind. 3 years later, the boy is back, except now he's a man, and Ox can no longer ignore the song that howls between them. So TJ Klune did print this as an independent, but it has now been picked up by Tor and is being re-released. The sequel is out in August. I hope to read this one to know if I can want to pre-order that one. I've heard mixed things. I have mixed feelings with TJ Klune's work. So like I said, no expectations going into this book. And like April and May, I have family birthdays this month. I have one sister on the 13th of June and one on the 23rd. And yes, I have added the 13th and 23rd books from my to be read shelves onto my TBR for this month. Book 13 is Cursed Crowns by Catherine Doyle and Catherine Webber. This is a sequel to Twin Crowns. I forgot the name then. But because it is a sequel and it does spoil what happens at the end of book 1, I cannot read you the synopsis. However, in Twin Crowns, you follow 2 princesses who have grown up split apart, don't know of each other, and you have a kingdom at war with magic and themselves at times. I am so looking forward to reading this book. And book 23 is Snow by John Banville. This is a standalone, and when I realised this was my 23rd book, I actually chuckled to myself because this is a book I think my sister would want to read as well. And the 2 sisters this month are also readers, and we do share books when the other wants to read them. Detective Inspector St John Clifford is called in from Dublin to investigate a murder at Ballyglass House, the County Wexford family seat of the aristocratic, secretive Osborne family. Facing obstruction from all angles, Strafford carries on determinedly in his pursuit of the murderer. However, as the snow continues to fall over this ever-expanding mystery, the people of Ballyglass are equally determined to keep their secrets. Now onto the ClearUrSht part of my TBR. I'm going to be honest, I have changed this TBR several times over the past month and over the past 2 weeks especially. As you will see in my May wrap up, it was a bit of a hit and miss month for me, and as you will see in my vlogs, I've not really read as much or wanted to read as much. So while I am setting this TBR, it is very much flexible, and if I need to mood read a prompt, I am mood reading a prompt. even if I want to mood read and the book doesn't fit a prompt, I do not care. But on to the prompt. The first prompt is to read the book that is most recently added to your TBR. For me, the book for this prompt could not have come at a better time because I'm seeing this author in person at the end of the month, and I'm so looking forward to reading the sequel, and that is The Battle Drum by Sarah L. Arifi. This is a sequel to The Final Strife, which I read a couple of months ago. I loved it. I want to say I gave it 5 stars or 4.5. I really enjoyed it. I automatically pre-ordered this book, and then I found the author is coming to the Bradford Literature Festival at the end of June, and I am so excited to go and see her in person. This book is signed by the author. I think The Final Strife may be signed by the author, but if it isn't, I don't know if she's doing signatures. If she is and The Final Strife isn't signed, I'll bring in that book to be signed. Because this is a sequel, I am not able to read the synopsis. However, all I will say for The Final Strife, because I will do it no justice by trying to sum it up, is go read it if you are looking for a fantastic fantasy and a new fantasy series to start. The next prompt is to read a book that will make you feel good. Now, I haven't gone for a book that will make me feel good. I've gone for an author where I know I enjoy their book, and at the end of every book I feel something, if it's good, like, or bad about the character. Not about the writing, I do quite enjoy it, but yeah. And that is Forever Home by Graham Norton. I am loving Graham's writing. His books are normally 4 stars for me, so for me it's a automatic pick. Carol is a divorced teacher living in a small Irish town. A second chance at love with the older Declan brings her an unexpected happiness, but their romance sparks speculation. What does a woman like her see in a man like him? And what happened to his wife who abandoned him all those years ago? The gossip only serves to bring them closer, but when Declan becomes ill, things fall apart. Carol is forced to leave their beloved home and return to her parents. Unwilling to see her daughter suffer, Carol's mother vows to get to the bottom of things. It seems there are secrets in Declan's past, and suddenly the house they shared takes on a more sinister significance. The next prompt is to read a book that you only bought because of influence, and I have gone for the book that was everywhere on TikTok, and the author was everywhere, and there was so much speculation and rumours, and yeah, you probably know which book it is. Lightlark by Alex Astor. Every 100 years, the island of Lightlark appears for only 100 days to host a deadly game, where the rulers of 6 realms fight to break their curses and win unparalleled power. Each ruler has something to hide, each curse is uniquely wicked. To break them and save themselves and their realms, one ruler will die. To survive, Isla Crown must lie, cheat, betray, even as love complicates things. The next prompt is to randomly select a book, so here is me randomly selecting a book from my jar. As you can see by the clip, the book that was randomly selected was The Dublin Railway Murder by Thomas Morris. Dublin, November 1856. George Little, the chief cashier of the Broadstone Railway Terminus, is found dead, lying in a pool of blood beneath his desk. He has been savagely beaten, his head almost severed. There is no sign of a murder weapon, and the office door is locked, apparently from the inside. Thousands of pounds in gold and silver are left untouched at the scene of the crime. Augustus Guy, Ireland's most experienced detective, teams up with Dublin's leading lawyer to investigate the murder. But the mystery defies all explanation, and 2 celebrated sleuths sent by Scotland Yard soon return to London baffled. 5 suspects are arrested then released, with every step of the salacious case followed by the press, clamouring for answers. But then a local woman comes forward, claiming to know the murderer. The next prompt is to read a book with either gold, silver or bronze on the cover. I have 2 choices in my TBR already. The Dublin Railway Murder or Cursed Crowns. However, if I somehow have time to read any other books apart from my TBR, or if I mood read a book, I have quite a few on my shelves, not picked, that do have them colours on, so I have a choice. And then the next prompt is to read a book that you have been putting off. As you can see by the orange tabs in my already selected TBR, I already have about 4 on this one, but there is the one book I'm going to add on as a maybe because I didn't get to it in May. And you might have guessed what that is looking at my vlogs. That is Daughters of Night by Laura Shepherd Robinson. Yes, this was my Read Your Bookshelf book for last month. However, you can read them out of order whenever you want. So if I have time, I will put this on the TBR for that prompt. However, otherwise it will be one of the orange books or any of the books I hauled from last year. And the 8th and final prompt is to read a book from an author you have read before. There are many on my TBR. 1, 2, 3, 4. So yeah. Or if I mood read, quite a few books on my shelves are from authors I've read before. So I have multiple choice for this one. So there you have my tentative TBR for June. Like I said, I am very much wavering, I think, on a book slump, so I don't want to force myself into one by forcing myself to read a TBR if I don't want to read that book. So if I do end up mood reading, great. If I end up reading my TBR, great. If I read less than like 5 books, then I think a book slump is here, people. But that is it for June's TBR video. Have you read any of the books mentioned? Are you participating in ClearUrSht yourself? If you are, please send me a link to either your video, blog, or even just write down below what your TBR is. I love TBR videos, especially when they're for readathons that I'm participating in. I'm not going to lie, there are some other readathons that may or may not be happening this year that I may or may not be participating in. That's not like a secret, ooh, if there is one, I generally mean that. That normally have prompts where it's, please steal a book off someone else's TBR. So if you share your TBRs with me for ClearUrSht and I have a book on there that I'm like, oh, I really want to read that one, or oh, that sounds good, I'll add it to my wish list, I can literally pick up the book from your TBR. If you did like this video, please give it a like. If you are new to my channel, hi, my name's Michelle. My reading, like my life, is a chaotic mess. I like to try and say I have a variety of genres I like to read. My main ones being fantasy or crime/thriller. Definitely the more the second than the first at the moment. If you are new and you haven't subscribed yet, please consider doing so. If you don't want to, that is not an issue. But until the next video, bye.